Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dikots, where decisions meet dichotomies. I'm your host, शशिन यादव, और आज हमारे साथ जुड़ने वाले हैं बहुत ही रोचक इंसान, जिनकी लाइफ एक ऑलमोस्ट ओपन हाईवे की तरह रही है, with a lot of travel, a lot of adventurous trips, poetry, photography, and two very cute furry kids as well. He's an engineer by background, but a very enthusiastic traveler by heart. Meet Vikas Praval.
Namaskar.
He is someone who goes by the name of VahiyaatShayaar on Instagram. So, Vikas, today we are going to talk with you on a very interesting topic, adventure versus routine. मेरे पास आपके लिए बहुत ही सारे इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल हैं. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर ऑडियंस वुड वांट टू नो सो मच अबाउट योर स्टोरीज. तो आज हम इस टॉपिक पे डीप डाइव करने वाले हैं. बट बिफोर आई ब्रिंग यू ऑन टू दोज इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस, I am gonna run you through with some rapid fire ones.
Oh,
Are you ready for that?
I am ready. Shoot.
Cool. Here we go. Mountains or beaches?
Mountains all the way. All the way.
All the way?
The saying mountains are calling, I must go. I take it to the heart.
It is probably meant for you.
I mean, I'm sure it was probably coined a way before, long before I came, but मेरे लिए बना है, for sure.
I'm glad. All right, second one. One road trip जो आप कभी भी कर सकते हो.
There are actually plenty, but if I have to really pick, number one would be Tawang, and number two would be Manali. Manali is like that comfort location, once you reach Manali, you're like home. Tawang is that location where once you reach, you do realize the smallness of you as an individual or human being. कि भाई कितनी बड़ी दुनिया है, कि like look at this majestic thing जो create किया है God ने. So that would be Tawang, and if I have to feel at home, Manali.
Awesome. What is one thing जिसके बिना आप कभी ट्रैवल नहीं करते, चाहे वो लॉन्ग ट्रिप हो या शॉर्ट ट्रिप हो?
As much as I want to call myself a very detached person, मैं भयंकर किस्म से materialistic हूँ. तो ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें होंगी which I will want to travel with or which I will always carry. I think सबसे important would be मेरा camera that I do carry wherever I go. And since you said things, so I will limit to things.
Yes.
And उसमें things में I think एक चीज जो उससे भी बड़ी है वो मेरी गाड़ी. मैं गाड़ी लेके ही जाता हूँ जहाँ जाता हूँ. तो कैमरा इज व्हाट आई वुड स्टिक विद दो.
ओके, कूल. हमें पता है कि आपके पास दो बहुत ही क्यूट फरी किड्स हैं. सो व्हाट इफ दे कुड स्पीक? उनका क्या कहना होगा आपकी ड्राइविंग स्टाइल के बारे में?
ओके, सो आई थिंक दैट्स अ इवॉल्विंग काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन. ठीक है. So I do have two dogs. I have a Siberian Husky. He's called Momo. I do have a Golden Retriever. She's called Hazel. Hazel is the elder one, and she's the one that has the energy that kind of reflects in me, or she kind of reflects that energy, right? So she's the one who would probably say कि your driving is improving. बढ़िया हो रही है तुम्हारी driving, improve हो रही है over a period of time. Momo is kind of he's a monk soul, right? So he really doesn't care. He's like तुम मेरे को point A से point B लेके आ गए हो, I will find some places to roam around. He enjoys, he enjoys exploring new locations. So I don't think he enjoys the driving part as much. He enjoys the new locations. So
okay.
For the second part, I would say he is okay with whatever I drive. But Hazel is Hazel तो definitely बोलेगी तुम्हारी ड्राइविंग पिछले 6 साल में तो काफी इंप्रूव हुई है.
अच्छा लग रहा है मुझे कि आप उनके बिहाफ में ऑलरेडी बोल रहे हो कि आप बहुत अच्छे ड्राइवर हो. Glad to hear that.
मैंने कहा कि इवॉल्विंग सिचुएशन है. मैंने नहीं कहा कि मैं अच्छी ड्राइव करता हूँ. मैं पहले से अच्छी ड्राइव करता हूँ.
Okay. Good to hear.
Safer.
Okay. Next one. What is harder, running a 22 kilometers marathon or sitting through a long corporate meeting?
I don't even want to answer that. You know what? I can run marathons back to back. Just spare me the meetings. मेरे से नहीं होता है भाई. मतलब I know, and this is a little controversial क्योंकि कोविड के बाद क्या हो गया ना कि कोविड के बाद people thought कि everybody's time is just readily available. Randomly एक मीटिंग सेट कर दो, कोई एजेंडा नहीं, कोई एंड गेम नहीं, बस मीटिंग. people are sitting there, मेरा भी सुनो तुम्हारा भी सुनो, and then finally क्या होता है, अगले हफ्ते फिर वही marathon. There's a goal. You start with something, you end with something. कुछ नहीं तो calories burn कर लिए, but at least you have achieved something. So that sense of achievement, I would say, marathon brings more than any meeting.
Okay.
But caveat being, unless there's an agenda that is met at the meeting, in which case I'm okay to sit through meetings as well.
Okay. Yeah.
नौकरी बचानी है भैया.
Yeah, of course. Diplomacy just entered the podcast.
Diplomacy, just right amount of diplomacy का नमक.
बिल्कुल.
So, yeah.
बहुत जरूरी है, वो भी जरूरी है. Okay, for someone who wants to travel with their pets, top 3 things that come to your mind which can help them.
Okay, so I think this is a kind of a serious question, and I would say these are some of the hard lessons that we have learned. Number one, the veterinary services you think that are available, in a place where you are based out of. It could be a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 city, but जो भी आपकी veterinary services हैं, they are not the same everywhere. तो अगर आप कहीं पे भी plan करके जा रहे हो, especially with pets, you need to be aware कि आपके आसपास you may have to have some medical emergencies. So please prepare accordingly. We unfortunately have a dog who requires some extensive amount of medicines, and there could be medical emergencies, and we have to plan for it. We have fallen short on 2 occasions with the preparations, but we still say कि भाई veterinary services are not easily or readily available in India. So keep that in mind. Second thing is, when you're traveling, be aware कि भैया food हर जगह नहीं मिलता है, so please carry accordingly कि आपको इतना लेके चलना है. और third thing, which is the most important one, is कि dogs are absolutely they are tied to the routine.
Yeah.
तो अगर आप कुछ भी कर रहे हो, 24 घंटे ड्राइव का प्लान मत करो, आप उनके रूटीन के अराउंड थोड़ा सा एक्टिविटीज प्लान करो, so that they have time to adjust, acclimatize as they are going. So I think these are the three top things that I would say.
So vet services, food, and routine of your
routines
pet.
are very important.
Got it. Clear. Thank you so much. Next one. कोई ऐसा travel mishap आपको याद आ रहा है जो it became a great story to tell afterwards?
I've had many, actually काफी सारी ऐसी stories हैं. So the first road trip. Now let me start with the second road trip we took.
Okay.
तो हम लोग अटल टनल से नीचे उतर रहे हैं, and I tell my wife, she's a perfect navigator, ठीक है. I tell my wife कि यार this location is amazing.
Yeah.
चारों तरफ बर्फ है, ड्रोन उड़ाते हैं,
Okay.
गाड़ी काली है, अलग से दिखाई देगी. So she's like, because there are trees all around, there are wires all around, I don't think we should fly the drone. पर गाड़ी तो तेरा भाई चलाएगा.
Of course.
तो भाई ने कहा कि नहीं we'll उड़ाओ the drone.
Yeah.
तो भाई उड़ाओ the drone, and drones are very smart these days. They have that follow me feature.
Okay.
हम लोग जा रहे हैं fancy follow me feature करते हुए, the road is winding down, and अचानक से transmission खत्म हो गया.
Okay.
So the smart drone had actually crashed into a tree.
Oh.
ट्री में क्रैश हुआ, बेचारा गिरा. एंड द वर्स्ट पार्ट इज कि वो ड्रोन, मतलब मुझे आज तक उसका लोकेशन पता है कि वेयर दैट ड्रोन इज.
Okay.
एंड फ्रॉम वेयर वी स्टूड, हम लोग रोड पे खड़े हैं 13-14 फुट ऊपर, वी कैन सी कि 13-14 फीट above the ground there is a snow patch, and that is where the drone is. ठीक है, I can see कि वहां पे ड्रोन है, but I cannot go retrieve it because it's just too treacherous for anyone of us to be able to climb safely.
Okay.
तो वो ड्रोन आज तक वहीं पड़ा है, उसका लोकेशन अभी भी सेव्ड है. अक्टूबर में आई एम गोइंग बैक टू मनाली. आई विल कम बैक फॉर यू ड्रोन, तू चिंता ना कर भाई, मैं आऊंगा. But at the same time, I have to give full kudos to my wife. She never said I told you so.
Yeah.
After I crashed my drone, she never
Yeah,
said.
perfect travel partner indeed.
Exactly. So after the drone crashed, I dropped Isha back at the homestay that we were staying at. I went back. 1 घंटा लगा के I downloaded, because my drone was still on and my remote was still connected. So I downloaded the full clip.
Okay.
कम से कम क्रैश किया तो वीडियो तो ले ले. So I downloaded the whole clip onto my phone on my devices.
Okay.
And then wiped the memory clean and then left the place. So मतलब हमने कुछ नहीं तो कम से कम वीडियो तो रिट्रीव कर लिया.
This is a good story to tell as well.
Exactly. So
Cool.
I mean, so I have to give full props कि भाई there's that topic of I told you so never came up.
Yeah.
And she actually offered to buy me a new drone.
Wow.
That's an offer I never
She seems
took up
like
on.
an amazing person.
Yeah, she is. So I never took up on that offer, but she was kind enough to do that. So yeah.
So glad. So glad. No, thank you so much for sharing. Hopefully ड्रोन अभी भी आपके इंतजार में है. जब आप पहुंचोगे तो वो वेट कर रहा होगा. शायद ये बोलते हो कि मेरा विकास आएगा, मेरा विकास आएगा.
Absolutely. I'm sure. मैं तो कोई भी उस तरफ जाता है. My brother-in-law recently went in that direction. I gave him the directions कि भाई रुको तो एक बार देख लेना कुछ दिख जाए तो.
शायद. Cool. Awesome. So, what is your go-to playlist or artist when you are going through the hills?
Mohit Chauhan.
Okay.
It has to be. I will also kind of go towards Coke Studio. But Mohit Chauhan ke jo songs hai na, they are like very, very mountain songs. My playlist will vary from, Metallica to Mohit Chauhan to anything and everything in between. But if I'm in mountains, it has to be either Mohit Chauhan. I do listen to a lot of folk music as well, which is Himachali folk. So there's quite a bit of that as well thrown in there. And I would say, I mean, Isha is kind of very adaptive that way, She'll let me play my ganda music or acha music or whatever. She'll call it whatever.
Okay.
But so मेरी choice के हिसाब से it will be Mohit Chauhan, Coke Studio, or some Himachali folk.
Okay.
Could also have some bits of soft music thrown in, but that's about it.
All right. So Mohit Chauhan. Artist you would want to go to?
Mohit Chauhan.
Okay.
That has to be Mohit Chauhan.
All right. And if you have to tell us about one decision, that completely changed your experience while you are on a trip or all the trips that you take. कोई एक decision जो आपको याद आता हो?
So I actually have we have actually made decisions that have made our whole journey way worse, and we have taken decisions that have made our journey, that have been a learning, that have made our journeys good. So I think one of the decisions we took last year was कि चलते हैं, जो होगा देखा जाएगा, ठीक है. So we landed in Manali, and like I mentioned, there was a medical emergency with one of my pets.
Oh, okay.
And despite of that, we decided we will head into Spiti. Now Spiti gets even remoter as you go in, and there's no phone connection, there's no Google, there's nothing. So you go in, and we suddenly realized that the journey that Google was showing would be 4 hours. We were on road for 7 hours, and it was still showing about 2 hours away.
Oh.
So the road was terrible. The altitude was almost 4,500 meters, and it was dark. We kept on going, of course. Next day morning, when we woke up, we realized that we were actually already at 3,700 meters above the MSL, and my pet's condition was such that it did not allow him to be above 2,400 meters. Anything above that could mean, it would lead to deterioration of his medical health.
Okay.
So हमने वो पंगा ले लिया. We went through the whole Spiti trip, and we also, this was the time we realized that veterinary services are not that great. So this was one of the decisions we took, which kind of made things bad for us. So we have done Spiti tour, did not enjoy it as much as we thought we would with pets, right? Then I think that good decision that we took this time around was in the month of March, suddenly there was a situation that we saw news में कि बर्फ पड़ रही है मनाली में. Like, यार, Siberian Husky, Golden Retriever, they have to see this though.
Yes.
So I put in leaves next day. Third day we were on road driving to Manali. We let our dogs experience snow for the first time, and I think it was all worth it. So I would say, we have taken good decisions, bad decisions, but all in all, very memorable trips.
Okay, awesome. No, fantastic. I think these were all such valuable insights, some fun insights, some of the learnings that people can take away. So thank you so much for the rapid fire round. Now probably we can take a little bit more deep dive into your other experiences, overall travel stories. तो शुरुआत करते हैं आपके इंटरेस्टिंग इंस्टा हैंडल नेम से. वाहियात शायर, बहुत ही यूनिक नेम है. हम जानना चाहेंगे कि क्या स्टोरी है इसके पीछे.
So back in 2010, 2011, I really got into the Coke Studio phase.
Okay.
Like really into Coke Studio. गाड़ी में coke studio, घर में coke studio, office में coke studio
Okay.
types. I mean, I got into that phase, and I started quoting a lot of coke studio shairi here and there, and randomly anywhere and everywhere. And पहले लोगों ने टॉलरेट किया कि ठीक है यार, भाई अपना कोई बात
कुछ
नहीं,
नया try कर रहे हैं।
I mean, people tolerated, but then एक point के बाद थोड़ा सा वैसा people are like यार प्लीज यार बहुत भाई यार बंद कर यार प्लीज यार, that's it. People stopped hanging out. So
Okay.
फिर I was like ठीक है रोक लेते हैं. So since my शायरी was so वाहियात,
Okay.
that's how I
Became the Vahiyaat
so
Shayaar.
it wasn't that the शायरी was वाहियात, it was just that my delivery was वाहियात. ठीक है?
Oh wow.
So I'm terrible at singing, I'm terrible at artistic stuff, and that's how the handle came to be as VahiyaatShayaar. I did change it briefly to my name, but then I realized कि नहीं ठीक है यार, that is who I am. I'm a VahiyaatShayaar.
You are, of course.
And here I am.
It is almost tempting me, even though it is at my own risk and to the audience.
It is Shashan, I'll stop you right there. It is some amount of it is explicit in nature, so I'll probably not go there right now.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. वरना मैं बहुत ज्यादा उत्सुक होता जानने के लिए एटलीस्ट एक वाहियात शायरी तो
right after we finish this, I'll throw in a few for you.
Okay, cool. Then let's not take the audience through that torture.
I agree.
All right. Next up, and I'm pretty sure the audience is also very very curious to know about what draws you to the highways. आपने recently trips करी हैं from Bangalore all the way to Manali. You mentioned you went to Spiti as well. I understand कि आपको अपनी कार से ही हर जगह जाना पसंद है. इतना लंबा रूट, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ what draws you to the highway? रोड ट्रिप आपने शुरू कैसे करी? क्या आप बचपन से ही रोड ट्रिप्स पे जाते आए हो या एक at certain point of time आपने ये डिसीजन लेना शुरू किया?
It's a mixed bag. So I come from a Fauji family, right?
Okay.
So I think when it comes to travels, I think I would say I've been one of those fortunate people who have seen the length and breadth of this country. I grew up for the most part of my life in Northeast. As a result, I mean, because of my dad's job and my family's keenness to travel, so everywhere my dad was posted, we would take road trips, and I mean, we would pan out the length and breadth of the state or the place we were in.
Okay.
For example, Pingangso is one location that a lot of people go to these days, right?
Yeah.
So my dad had a Willy Jeep back in 1994.
Okay.
The old Willy Jeep, right? So that Jeep was so rickety, it would struggle. That hardly poor 50 bhp engine.
Yeah.
But it was a 4x4.
Okay.
So like we decided कि we'll go to Pingangso.
Okay.
Pingangso के लिए निकल गए.
Okay.
चांगला में गाड़ी चढ़ नहीं रही है.
Okay.
There are like 4 of us in the गाड़ी. डैड आगे बैठे हैं, पीछे 3 लोग हैं.
Okay.
गाड़ी ऊपर चढ़ नहीं रही है, 4 लोग हैं पीछे, गाड़ी ऊपर नहीं चढ़ रही है. धीरे धीरे बेचारा हमारा ड्राइवर somehow he was able to, फौजी ड्राइवर एक्सपीरियंस है, उसने चढ़ा दी चांगला. So चांगला is still considered one of the difficult passes to cross.
Yes.
Despite of new roads having been built up. So किसी तरह क्रॉस कर लिया, पार निकल गए, and we were driving. So we reached a camp next day in the morning, late in the night. कैंप में रुके, वहाँ पे फौजी कैंप है. नेक्स्ट डे मॉर्निंग हम लोग फ्यूल टॉप अप करके निकल गए रोड में. We are driving and driving and driving.
Okay.
And there is that khatra, क्योंकि there are no roads there. There's like hardly anything to call road there, and we are crossing a lot of water streams. And there is that khatra कि we might actually drive into China. We don't know क्योंकि कुछ है ही नहीं.
ऐसा कुछ बाउंड्री जैसा.
ठीक है. So we drove for about 6 hours, touched Pingangso, came back.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say with all of this is that road trips have always been part of my life.
Okay.
Now, since I became financially independent or self-dependent as far as my finances could allow, I realized that it is important for us to live a little.
Yes.
Right? I mean, for me specifically, I mean, it could mean a lot of things for a lot of people, but for me, it's about the experiences, meeting people, going to new places. So we realized that, and also the dimension of me wanting to experience my dogs, some of the things that I've experienced, or for that matter, my wife to experience some of the things that I've experienced. Snow, mountains, first village of India, some of the more remote mountain passes. So that kind of thing. So we thought, why not road?
Yeah.
And it works well for me because I love driving. I absolutely love being on road. So that's how it came to be. And we thought we actually started quite recently. It's not like we've been doing this for the long drives that we've been, we have recently started this about 2 years ago. We have done shorter trips, plenty of them, but this was something that we started recently because all of these things we wanted everyone to experience this thing. So
बहुत अच्छी बात है, ये काफी अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस है। आप कुछ चीज आपके फर्स्ट लेग ऑफ लाइफ में देखते हो, उससे इंस्पायर होते हो, एंड देन यू गेट गोइंग सिंपली, राइट? आपको ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ ऐसे एक्सपीरियंसेस जो आपने देखे हैं, हाउ कैन यू लेट द होल डियर वंस आल्सो एक्सपीरियंस द सेम?
एब्सोल्युटली,
बहुत अच्छी बात है ये तो। बट इसी से रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन है, क्योंकि आप इतनी लंबी ट्रिप्स कर रहे होते हो, आप किस तरीके के ट्रैवलर? डू यू बिलीव इन कि यार मुझे हर छोटी बड़ी चीज प्लान करके जाना है, या फिर ऑन द गो आप लोग देखते हो?
So on this, we are kind of the opposite poles of this thing. I am an impulsive traveler.
बैग उठाया और निकल गए?
मेरा ये है कि 4 टी-शर्ट, 2 जीन्स एंड शॉर्ट्स आर माय गो टू. तो भर के शॉर्ट्स डाल दो
एंड कैमरा
ऑफ कोर्स,
या,
एंड निकल जाओ. Isha on the other hand will love to plan things कि ऐसा कर लेंगे वैसा कर लेंगे. She'll actually make a list of सामान to be packed.
Okay.
So that is where the whole medical thing came into play, because she was smarter than I am, right? So that's how it is. But when it comes to it, I think we have both realized that there needs to be that balance where you cannot plan everything, because once you plan everything, things will never go to plan, and once your plan fails, unless you have that fluid thinking, you'll not be able to kind of adjust accordingly. Correct. So our idea is simple, that we know what we need to do, and we will manage our requirements as per where we are or what we are doing. For example, last year while we were traveling back from one of the road trips, right before we were about to reach Gwalior, this guy calls me, tells me कि sir हमारे guest house में आग लग गई, will not be able to host you.
Okay.
And like क्या करें अभी? Like we are already crossed Agra, and we were like halfway in between, and he says like क्या करें? And then while I'm driving, I tell her कि यार देख कुछ और ऑप्शन है क्या? She finds a place in Orcha. We go towards Orcha instead of Gwalior.
हमारे मध्य प्रदेश में थे?
जी हाँ, बिल्कुल. तो मतलब हम लोगों ने दिशा बदल दी. हमने कहा दिशा बदल दो, दशा बदल दो, and let's do something about it.
Okay.
कि दुखी हो के आगरा में रुक सकते हैं, या फिर सीधे आगे चलते हैं, देखा जाएगा.
क्या बात है.
We are more of देखा जाएगा.
Cool, awesome. But getting into the next phase, जब आप आपके furry kids के साथ जा रहे होते हो, आपने हमें बताया कि what are the top 3 important things that people should consider. But आप प्लान कैसे करते हो? बिकॉज बहुत सारी चीजें होंगे. आपने टॉप 3 मस्ट हैव तो बताया, लेकिन आपने होटल्स कौन से लेने हैं, कहाँ पे रुकना है, क्या आप पूरी रिसर्च करके जाते हो, और हम ये भी जानना चाहेंगे कि क्या नहीं करना चाहिए अगर आपके साथ इफ यू हैव पेट्स विथ यू व्हाइल ऑन द रोड ट्रिप. तो जो भी आप इंफॉर्मेशन देना चाहें.
I think what works for us is, of course, the advent of internet has helped a lot. Because by you can research beforehand what are the places that will allow pets, what are the places that will host them, which will be able to provide services. So for example, of all the places in India, there's a place called Sioni in Madhya Pradesh.
Hanji.
A lot of people have not heard of the place. It's the birthplace of Mowgli.
Yes.
Okay? So that place will host pets. There's a specific hotel there which will host pets. In fact, the person is so nice that I call him. He knows me by name now because I've stayed at his place multiple times. So I call him, and he'll reserve a room for me specifically. So the idea is that whenever you're planning, don't leave anything for a chance that something says, if document says that it is pet friendly, always call, inquire, let them know you're coming with 2 large pets. This is a requirement.
Okay.
And I'll do this. And they'll be more than, people are nice, people are generally very nice, they will more than happy to help you out. Okay, fine, you know what, I'm not able to host you, somebody else will, but I'll make sure you do.
Okay.
So on the planning part, a lot of planning right now for us is sorted because we have done quite a few of them, so we know some of the locations where we can stay. We are trying to do something new this year. We're trying to head towards Northeast. That is something, and that is where we are kind of right now we are planning that trip, and we are figuring out some of the places where we can probably put up. So that's one. On the food front, we realized पहले trip में पता लग गया कि भैया we run out of food very quickly.
Okay.
घर पे उतना पता नहीं चलता है, but when you're on road, you realize कि oh खत्म.
जल्दी
Now
से.
what next? So I actually so there are so we actually traveled with the pura quantity. We measured the quantity, and this time around we traveled with the pura quantity.
Okay.
So हमारे सामान से ज़्यादा खाना था.
हर दिन के मील के हिसाब
हर दिन के मील के हिसाब से. So that way. So we kind of figured that piece out. And like I said, यार सबसे important है कि you have to plan your travels per the routine of your kids. कि भाई
Got it.
morning, evening, there has to be some stability. बाकी दिन में आप travel करो. So we restrict ourselves to maximum of 700 kilometers or 10 hours drive a day.
Okay.
Nothing more than that. And we absolutely, by rule of thumb, we avoid night driving.
Good.
रात में सड़क पे नहीं होना है.
Okay.
So anything in between, we find locations in between, plan our stops, travel accordingly.
Okay. कुछ absolute don'ts जो आपके mind में आते हैं when you're traveling with kids, furry kids?
Yeah, I think I would not call it not just with furry kids. I would call it general thumb of rule is rule of thumb is you would want to keep your calm on road. I mean, there will always be bad drivers. There will always be situations which will probably make you a little anxious, which will probably create some anxiety around you. Always stay calm. क्योंकि problem क्या होता है ना कि that one moment of aggression or that one moment of excitement can lead to something which you do not want.
Correct.
So when you are on road, be calm, आराम से अपना काम करते रहो and यार follow the speed limits. It helps.
Okay.
हमारी सड़कें ऐसी हैं कि we ideally should not be speeding. So follow the speed limits. Okay. That helps.
Sounds good. So moving on further, आप और ईशा पहले जब साथ में ट्रैवल करते थे versus now when you're traveling with your furry kids, कैसा है ये डिफरेंस? आई मीन, इज इट मोर एक्साइटिंग? डज इट नीड मोर प्लानिंग? आप क्या बदलाव आपने महसूस किए?
There's absolutely, I mean, while I would still call it, there is some amount of spontaneity to this, but I would say it has changed quite a bit. So 2017, one fine day, Isha says कि यार Amsterdam चलते हैं.
Okay.
I'm like चलते हैं, right? I mean, we were married for about 3 years then, and we're like चलते हैं. So we go on and apply for our visas. Isha already has US visa, so she gets the visa. उसका लग जाता है. मेरा visa reject हो गया. VahiyaatShayaar. So spontaneity of the plan was, she flies to Amsterdam. I went to Nepal.
Okay.
Like,
you still went on.
हाँ, क्योंकि भाई छुट्टी ले लिए तो अभी घूमना तो है.
Okay.
तो she goes to Amsterdam vacation. I go for a Nepal vacation. मैं नेपाल में road trip किया. उसने Amsterdam में अपना she did her trip.
Wow.
We came back a week later. आपस में story share किए, and that's it.
Okay.
So that was the spontaneity or the option of flexibility we had.
Got it.
Right. So the whole reason why we got into this whole road tripping, the reason why we got into this was because two reasons. First of all, I don't want to leave my kids behind. I want them to experience the whole vibe of this country. This is a huge country. So that's how things have changed. So now if we plan something, we don't do solo trips per se anymore, because we know कि भाई अगर एक आदमी is gone, then दूसरे आदमी पे burden बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा managing the whole thing. But we still manage to do solo trips once in a while here and there.
Got it.
And of course business travels तो रहते ही हैं.
हाँ जी.
Right. So अभी उसमें changes ये हैं कि अब थोड़ा सा हमारे trips are little bit more planned, थोड़े से advance में planning कर लेते हैं. For example, अगर October में जाना है तो we are already planning now.
Got it.
Right. तो वैसा वाला planning है. अभी उतना spontaneous है कि weekend पे निकल गए.
Okay.
तो बस वो एक change है.
All right.
But I like this change. It's perfectly fine.
So good to hear that. Okay, so हमारे episodes mostly decision making style पे भी रहते हैं.
Right.
That is something we do want to cover, and the very unique personality that you have. मैं जानना चाहूँगा कि आपकी decision making style क्या है, especially from the topic of routine versus adventure. So whether it is your short plans, long plans, how do you choose कि यहाँ मुझे routine follow करना है, अब मुझे adventure के लिए जाना है? क्या चीज आपको trigger करती है decision लेने पे?
So I think as much as I want to say that I'm a very spontaneous person, I am also very rigid when it comes to my routine. So basically, routine basically forms the baseline or the foundation of what I do, which means whatever decisions I make will have some bearing to my routine. That if my routine says that I need to do this, and this, that remains as a base. Everything else kind of gets stacked on top of it, right? Let's say हमको एक short trip के लिए जाना है. So short trip will happen, but it will still have the elements of my routine. So it's like Mount Everest का base camp is there. तुम जाके summit करके आ जाओ, but you'll come back to your base camp. So for me, decision making is very simple on this. As long as my routine does not get hampered, and I'm quite obsessed with that, to be very honest, in unhealthy way I would call it. But at the same time, it helps my decisions faster. So I know, okay, you know what? If I take this decision, does it pivot back to my routine? No, it does not. Then it probably is not for me.
Okay.
Simple as that. So it helps me make decisions much faster, which is not the case with my wife. So she's always in that dilemma.
Yeah.
Because her routine varies from mine. So वहाँ पे एक dilemma रहता है. But other than that, मेरे लिए ना decision making comes from my routine. कि भाई, does it fit there? Yes.
Okay.
And it can be as spontaneous as it can be. It can be as wild as it can be. But it has to fit into the whole baseline. Simple as that.
Okay. Interestingly, क्योंकि मैंने आपका वो वीडियो देखा है जहां आप पहाड़ों पे गए हो ड्राइव करके, पर वहां पे भी आप आपके मैराथन प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो. यू आर एक्चुअली रनिंग ऑन द माउंटेन्स.
Exactly.
आई कैन सी दैट आप रूटीन फॉलो करते हो. बट यू नो, कई लोग हैं हम जैसे, हमारे पास रूटीन तो होता है. यू नो, यू हैव टू आइदर वर्क इन कॉर्पोरेट, यू आर वर्किंग फॉर योर स्टार्टअप और एनी अदर, यू विल हैव सम सॉर्ट ऑफ रूटीन. कई बार वो ही इतना कंफर्टेबल स्पेस होता है कि एडवेंचर ना चाहते सब हैं, पर हम डिसीजन नहीं ले पाते कि एडवेंचर के लिए चलें. तो उनके लिए कुछ थॉट है? हाउ कैन दे गो आउट ऑफ दिस होल रूटीन वंस इन अ व्हाइल एंड चेज दैट एडवेंचर?
It's actually quite interesting, and it's actually very subjective, Shashin. So, for example, Sundays मेरे लिए are absolutely, I live in part of city जहाँ से मैं anywhere from जहाँ पे मैं रहता हूँ से नीचे या south जाने के लिए I consider कि मैं नहीं ही जाऊंगा, because that's like a no go for me, because traffic है, ये है, वो है, लोग हैं.
Correct.
So for example, I'm sitting here today. It's something that I'm doing out of my comfort zone, but I realize that this is something I want to do क्योंकि मुझे करना ही है. So it's very subjective in a way कि what drives you, right? मेरे लिए it's road, मेरे लिए it's mountains, मेरे लिए it's my pets, मेरे लिए it's my family, मेरे लिए it's all of that. For somebody it could be something else, but then adventure is that masala that brings this whole thing together. Because if you don't throw in the masala, if you don't bring in some adventure to your routine, it will cause a burnout. And that is what happened to me at some point in time. I was so obsessed with what I was doing at work that I would spend my 5 days and then would try to spend my next 2 days working.
Okay.
I realized that while it paid for my passions, I was not able to enjoy my passion. ना फोटोग्राफी के लिए आपके पास टाइम है, ना आप कर सकते हो, ना आप उसमें इन्वेस्ट करते हो. या रोड पे आप we bought a गाड़ी, we thought कि we'll do road trips, bad road trips, we didn't do any. So that got me thinking, why am I burning myself out?
Yeah,
my life is halfway done probably with the kind of sedentary lifestyles we have. It's probably halfway done.
Yeah.
So I need to take that decision. So भाई मेरे लिए तो decision point was very simple. I need to throw in that masala, otherwise this will be a very bland kind of life that I will probably look back and not feel very happy about.
Yeah, no, makes sense. हर किसी को लाइफ में थोड़ा मसाला तो ऐड करना चाहिए.
Absolutely.
वो डिश ही क्या, अदरवाइज जिसमें मसाला ना हो.
नहीं, अगर आप अनकंफर्टेबल नहीं हो ना कुछ करने में, then आपकी लाइफ आप कुछ मिस कर रहे हो. You have to make yourself uncomfortable. Simple as
Magic happens when you get out of your comfort zone.
हाँ, अंग्रेजी में बोलोगे तो ऐसे ही कुछ सुनाई देगा.
Correct, बिल्कुल. No, but thank you so much for sharing. We are pretty much at the end of podcast, but before we wrap up, for the audience, what is one road trip that you would suggest everyone should take at least once in their life, especially for folks who are from Bangalore and overall in the country?
I would say, if you're healthy, if you can manage some altitudes, do a Spiti road trip. Just do it. Do Chandratal, go to Kaza, go to all the places that you can, because that place has I mean, Ladakh, everybody will do, right?
Yes.
Ladakh has that whole structured
Correct.
trip or itinerary to it. Spiti is still a little untouched because शायद अभी तक लोग उतने पहुंचे नहीं है, शायद अभी उतना एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है लोगों को. But I would still say Spiti is one of my favorite road trips, and if I have an opportunity, I will do it once again in a heartbeat. I will have also suggested Tawang, but Tawang थोड़ा सा दूर पड़ जाता है, Bagdogra, Guwahati, and then the whole this thing. So Bangalore से I would still say Spiti is the one.
Cool. Thank you so much, Vikas. It was so good to hear from you all these interesting insights. इतनी सारी हमने आपसे stories जानी. I'm pretty sure audience has a lot of inputs regarding traveling with kids or taking road trips, or even how can they choose between routine, adventure, or maybe even striking a balance between both of them. So thank you so much for being with us, and to dear audience, I hope you liked the episode. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead, hit on that subscribe button, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.